The fourth function of management is coordination. As usual, try to answer the question, what is coordination? We can define coordination as is the action to make sure that the work process is continuous. The output of a task should be the output of the next task, systemic approach. So the idea of coordination is to coordinate between work, between different functions, and the coordination can be done by 5 mechanisms of coordination seated by Henri Linsberg. The first one is mutual adjustment, the second one direct supervision, third standardization of skills and norms, fourth work process, and the last the results. So if we want to coordinate the work, these 5 mechanisms of coordination will help the manager of the organization to coordinate between his workers. And now we're going to define each one. First one is the mutual adjustment. Question: what does it mean, mutual adjustment? We defined a mutual adjustment as a process to coordinate between 2 workers. And the way or the tool of communication is the communication. The coordination is communication. That means the direct communication, it is the way of coordinate. And it's called mutual adjustment because we adjust our efforts, our task according to the workers I'm working with. And the mutual adjustment as a mechanism of coordination is specific for the very small companies. The second one is direct supervision. Direct supervision is for the companies or the groups who their numbers are more than 4, 5, till 10. It means here the mutual adjustment, the communication cannot be a solution, because if you all communicate at the same time, we won't understand each other. So the supervision here, we put someone who's going to be the manager of the group and is going to supervise our work by organizing first, second, supervise it. So the direct supervision is organizing work, then supervising the work by one person. Third, it's standardization of skills and norms. Here, the standardizations are made for the big companies. When we talk about standardization means that it's going to make a work the same for everyone. We have to define, to organize the work in very good and well and strict division of work. And what we have here to do is the skills. The skills means the competence. Example, hospitals. The hospitals here, how do they standardize their work? By defining the skills needed. They need a doctor. The doctor here, it's a skill. So once he got recruited, we're not going to explain to the doctor how he has to do his work because he's already done. The standard is already prepared when he was studying and when he was get his training. The same thing at universities, the teachers. We say we need a teacher in business. We are not going to teach them and explain them how to teach. The competence of PhD, for example, in management is already standardization of skill. He knows what to do. Fourth, a work process. Here I'm going to standardize the work process, define the steps of all work. For example, cars. When we produce cars, we see the cars are produced in process. That's what was invented by Taylor and Ford with the Fordism. All the steps are defined and everyone has to follow the steps. The last one is standardization of results. I have to define the norms that I have to find in the final products. It doesn't matter how I'm going to do it. but I have to define the KPI and the norms in the results. For example, in sales, I want to grow my sales by 5%. I have to reach the 5%. Here we talk about a result. The last function of management is controlling. What does it mean, control? A manager must control that company activities are in line with the general company policies and objectives. It is also responsible of the manager to observe and report deviations from plans and objectives and to make initiative to correct potential deviation. Here in this drawing we can find the different steps of controlling. First one is establish clear standards. We can find these steps A, objectives. I have to define standards. What do I have to do? Second step is monitor and record performance. That means I have to know who done what to do, who was in charge and how he did it. Next one is to compare the results and the standards. I have to compare the first steps with the second one. Once I compare, I can find deviations. I have to communicate deviations. In step number 4, need to correct the action and get back to standards to correct the standards, or I can correct the performance. So the feedback concerns all the steps. In general, what is controlling? Controlling is comparing what was planned with what was achieved.